Video games have been a huge part of my life. The good old days when you woke up on a Sunday morning just so you could crash into innocent random pedestrians in San Andreas. If you guys are anything like me,
you're a gamer, goddammit.
Now that I'm into the world of startups, I began to wonder, are there any fun video games on entrepreneurship and businesses? After going through the interweb deeply for a week, I found 5 epic games related to startups that we'll play together in today's video. So let's get on with it. According to their website, How to Destroy a Startup is an educational game where you learn intellectual property law by destroying a thriving startup. Our main protagonist is the son of a former entrepreneur who gets cheated on by some other dude. The other dude now runs this company called Mordecai Electronics. And our job as the son of someone who got cheated on by the owner of Mordecai Electronics is to intentionally destroy this company for some sweet revenge by becoming an intellectual property expert. Our duty is to make the worst decisions possible as an intellectual property expert. This was actually a fun game and you learn a lot about patents, trademarks, and contracts. In this gameplay, we basically communicate with the boss and coworkers to intentionally file really stupid patents, draft some lawsuit-worthy trademarks for the logo and the name, and even write terrible employee contracts that give them all the rights to the products they make instead of the actual company. All this with the evil motivation to burn down Mordecai Electronics. One of the best parts of the game was when it dealt with the difference between ideas versus expression. This was very fascinating and I actually learned something interesting about intellectual property. This game has a really unique style and vibe and I genuinely love the attention to detail and the wacky humor. This game actually has 2 chapters. The first one is pretty chill, but the second one gets a little more crazier. You should be able to complete both of them within an hour as it's a pretty short game with very simple game mechanics. Is this a good game that teaches you about intellectual property and legal contracts? A huge yes. But is this a good game that teaches you about creating a startup? Maybe. Mostly not. I loved playing this, but I have to remove some points as it didn't really make me a better startup founder. I'd give it 6 Trevors out of 10. On to the next game. Startup Company. According to the game's Steam page, Startup Company is a business simulation sandbox game where you're the CEO of a new company. Your job is to build your very own website and compete against the largest tech giants on the planet.
I'm gonna put this on my resume.
Great game if you enjoy all the pain and suffering of running a startup company with none of the real world money to be gained. Sounds promising enough. After playing this game for a decently long enough time, I can finally say that this game is weirdly kind of addicting. Startup Company actually shows you how the whole startup ecosystem works, which is pretty cool. There are some really fun and insightful things that you do in this game, and some things that will intentionally make you want to pull your hair out. As soon as you start your company, you have to headhunt for employees and then actually negotiate with them when it comes to salaries. This was pretty fun and insightful until they just started asking me for bonuses randomly. If you choose to get an investor, you have to accomplish various milestones, which are pretty realistic. If you have no idea how VCs invest in a startup, I think this game actually shows you how milestones and tranches work too. Your job as the CEO is to be a jack of all trades. This game wonderfully captures that feeling and tension when you're just about to run out of money, trying to accomplish your current milestone to get that sweet funding to keep your company afloat. You have to do all of this nonsense while also dealing with the moods of your employees. You can make them happy by giving them bonuses, getting a coffee machine, offering a retirement plan, buying random furniture, or if they're just being a little pain, you can just fire them.
You have not met expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
You even have to hire sales executives, and as them, you then have to reach out to various companies and negotiate B2B advertisement deals. You can even run different marketing campaigns to drive more users to the app. There are some aspects to the game which make it feel a little stereotypical. Although it doesn't deal with the whole process of coming up with products that users truly need, I think Startup Company is a tiny little addictive game that shows you how a startup is actually run. Still, for a taste of the startup grind without the real world risks, it has nice typing sounds and is overall a pretty solid and fun experience. Matilda, stop sitting there idling and create a video component right now. I love playing this and I'd easily rate this 8 CJs out of 10. On to the next one.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Hey, it's 1 week from launch day of our new game. This is the day to send out those cold emails. The success of the game depends on getting featured on their websites. We have a very limited remaining budget, so try to send those emails as fast as possible. Cold email has no logic, but is weirdly and chaotically very fun. It has great sound effects and captures a really nice vibe. Our goal here is to send as many emails as possible while closing all the virus tabs that pop up. Not just that, you even have to dodge everyday items like a bottle of liquor, a block of gold, or even a little cat falling on the table. You have to do all of this as fast as possible to make sure your computer literally doesn't explode. It's a really quirky game, but it obviously doesn't really have a story. Unless you consider person sends emails until they go insane to be an Oscar-worthy story or a movie. This game didn't teach us anything really, but I definitely and unironically think it captures the monotony of sending cold emails to people. As a startup founder or a game developer, sending cold emails is a huge part of the journey. But at the end, the video game we're trying to launch ends up failing anyway. I'll give Cold Email 5 Arthur Morgans out of 10, which is a perfectly reasonable score for a game that perfectly replicates the soul-crushing experience of being an entrepreneur or a game developer. Last but not the least, we have Nell Watson's Founder Life. Master your personal resources to achieve startup business success in this pro bono entrepreneurial life simulator game.
Before I played Nell Watson's Founder Life, I had a small PP, no GF, depression, and no life. These things haven't changed, but the game is pretty good.
I have a lot of thoughts about this game. Some good, a lot bad. First of all, Founder Life is a game where you basically balance health, wealth, and happiness with the demands of being an entrepreneur. There isn't much gameplay here. It just feels like a bunch of slides on a PowerPoint presentation. All you can do in this game is make choices and deal with dilemmas that affect your 3 bars that relate to your health, energy, and well-being. But I love how it deals with various complex topics like burnout, accountability, valid criticism, and what failure really means. I like to think that I'm an expert on the last topic. I don't really think it's worth my time. It's pretty generic and you don't even know what startup our character is actually working on. The side character, like your boss, partner, and especially the protagonist's friend, are actually really annoying. This is nothing against Nell Watson. She's a really accomplished researcher and writer, and this is just probably a small project that she worked on during a weekend or something. This game actually teaches you about work-life balance, which I think is pretty unique, but it has the worst possible trait in a game. It's so goddamn boring. I'd rate it 2 Michaels out of 10. I'm genuinely grateful for the support you've shown towards the last 2 videos. Since I didn't really upload anything for the past 1.5 years, I thought no one would really care about this loser who posts random stuff on YouTube. I'm also really grateful for the epic community of builders we've built with this channel. We've already reached 1,000 subscribers. I'll leave a link to the Discord community in the description too. It's a really cool place to hang out. Bye.